Alright, a couple of days ago, UntilJapan dropped his long-awaited album, Trompe. This album has been long overdue, as the last one he dropped was released in 2023. Yeah, 2023. So the expectations for this project were up there, to say the least. Anyways, I'm going to talk about the fan reactions to the project, go over it, and just give you my thoughts on it as a whole. So this album had 2 singles as a part of its rollout, Pyramids and Born to Be Great. They were both cool, but I don't think they generated like an insane amount of hype. They weren't bad, but they just didn't cut through like that. And if I said anything different, I'd be lying. They definitely caught the attention of a lot of people though. Another thing that also happened to the lead up to this release, and I actually dropped a video on it, the entire album leaked. Not all of the songs were the exact same as the leaked versions, but the whole thing leaked. Now, luckily for UntilJapan, I don't think there were that many people actually interested in listening to the leaks because, I don't know, he'd been inactive for so long. For leaks to like really circulate, you need a way more active fan base, but as I said in the intro, this project has been, for UntilJapan fans, super hyped. If you think about it, UntilJapan isn't really like a singles artist. Like almost all of his biggest songs are from his last project, Safe Travels. And in like the 1.5-year hiatus, I would say not really hiatus, he dropped music, but 1.5-year break between albums, the approach UntilJapan took was the most risky approach you can take as an artist. Super mysterious, hardly posted photos of himself until like, I would say 6 months leading up to this album. Didn't do really any promo for the project until like a couple months before. No interviews. Until a year ago, most people didn't even know what he looked like, but I guess just due to his good music and how much he stands out from the rest of like the Atlanta underground rap crowd, the core fan base he does have stayed loyal, and it was enough to kind of buy him the time to drop this album. So anyways, he drops the album Trompe, and I'm not gonna lie, it definitely blew my expectations away. I wasn't expecting anything crazy. I don't know, I was just expecting something nice, something calm, something cool. There are actually a lot of songs that have replay value for me. The production is great, and compared to his peers, it's definitely a breath of fresh air. But before I go over my full review, I kind of just wanted to speak on the fan reactions. And I know a lot of it is promo, but hardly anybody had anything bad to say. UntilJapan is tiers higher than the rest of the underground. Someone said he signed a $1 million deal already with 200K monthly listeners. Even the labels know this guy's a future. I don't know where they got that figure from. He's been chosen one, agreed, just made some food. Time to throw this on and play some Clash Royale. My life is so good. Album of the year, he did his thing. UntilJapan by far is the best production an underground album has had in years. Someone said, you clearly haven't heard about 4-5. Yeah, I can't tell if he's serious or not. Just finished listening to UntilJapan's new album, Trompe. Currently lost for words, man, crying real tears. This is quite possibly, quite literally, sincerely, the best music possible I've ever heard. My ears are truly blessed after that work of art. Cool. Your Rage also really with the album, which is cool. And if you don't know who that is, he's like a really big streamer. I get through 5 tracks on the UntilJapan album, and it was already better than every album this year. Now, there was one person who had something negative to say. I was loving it till I realized I heard the same song 14 times in a row. Now, this might have been engagement bait, who knows, but it got about 2K likes, so I guess not everyone was rocking with it. Personally, I didn't really mind that the album had like a consistent theme, and I feel like it makes it more listenable as a project. It was a bunch of different sounds, different types of production. It would have been a little weird, or not weird. You can pull it off, but it's definitely not the same. Now, he also wasn't the only person to drop this night. Destroy Lonely dropped a little mini EP. 9 Vicious dropped an EP, and he dropped an album. Now, I'm not gonna lie, 9 Vicious dropping the same night as UntilJapan was not a good idea, because they're both kind of in the same, like they're very close as peers. Not personally, I just mean musically. Not even musically. I think UntilJapan is different and honestly way better, but just by fans you could say. And UntilJapan hands down dropped a way better project. And obviously, you know, one is an album that has been in the works for like 18 months, and the other is just like 9 Vicious threw together in like, I don't know, a couple weeks for his actual album. But I almost just feel like, you know, whenever 2 artists that are similar drop on the same night, fans always pit them against each other. So them being compared was almost impossible. And, you know, 9 Vicious knew UntilJapan was dropping an album. He probably didn't think about it like that, but yeah, he definitely got cleared. Someone said, here's what we learned tonight. Yeah, I don't know about that. Said nobody ever. Nine been better, this common knowledge, come on. I prefer to stay silent. Now I kind of get where this guy's coming from, because certain people just like the type of music that Nine Vicious makes over what Until Japan makes. But personally, yeah, I don't know about that take. Dearborn also dropped a single. Cool. Now I also wanted to go over something else before I gave like my full review. This album was supposed to be 18 tracks long, but not all of the samples for the album could get cleared. So he dropped this director's cut on SoundCloud and on his YouTube. He said, a lot of the core pieces to this project could not be cleared in time for its release. Here's the project in all of its glory, in the format it was intended to be in. Enjoy. Now, right from the jump, the first song that was originally supposed to be like the intro of the album, this song is so good. I'm not gonna lie, like the sample in the back of the beat is really good. I feel like a lot of these underground rappers use samples really poorly, or not poorly, they just use it cheaply, like Nine Vicious. His sample beats are cool, but I don't know, the way Until Japan incorporates samples, and he had so many layers into his songs, and I'm not saying he's Frank Ocean, but it kind of reminds me of how Frank Ocean has so many layers in some of his songs. Vocally, not so much, but Until Japan can definitely sing. But yeah, this first uncleared song, Mercedes 2005, he said not officially cleared. The original intro, beautiful song, Me, Love Gravity, Insane, worked on. Original demo dates back to May 2024, I believe. Yeah, this song, y'all gotta listen to it. It's crazy. The song Yayo is cool. It's more of like, it's like probably like the hardest song, as in, I don't know, just most rap, or I'm just gonna say like traditional rap leaning song on the album. I like the song Broad Day too, it's cool. There's this other song called Old Vices, New Cities. Another uncleared song. He said, the corner piece of the project in my eyes, it was a big upset to me that it could not be cleared for DSPs, but this seems to be the best way I can do the track justice. This was produced and recorded in the same night with Clayco and YP in Atlanta. Good song. Another song, London by Night. Song I just made at a really strange time in my life. The ability to experience life how it's intended. Originally started over the phone with Ian Khan. Ian Khan's a great producer. Another really good one, I don't know, I know I keep pointing out like these uncleared songs, but whenever he sampled on this project, he just didn't miss. Called Tightropes. It's also not officially cleared. He said, a love song I recorded in Atlanta after a really bad argument. One of my favorite collaborations with Love Gravity. Yeah, really good song. So overall, my favorite song is still Mercedes 2005, but like I just can't stop replaying that song. I've been playing it all day today. This album though is definitely worth listening to front and back. I was listening to this album when I woke up around like noon today, and yeah, I know I woke up really late, but I was listening to it and I don't know about you guys, but I almost feel like whenever something drops, I always try to like not let the Twitter propaganda influence my opinion. I just like listen to it. I'll give you an example. Lil Wayne dropped a really bad album, but if you go on Twitter, you think that he dropped like one of the original Carters, you know what I mean? But it was trash if you actually listen to it. Or not trash, there's just a lot of really bad songs. This is Until Japan album, if you go on Twitter, there's a lot of promo for it as well. The difference being though, the album is actually really good. But another thing as well, if you've been watching me or listening to me, I guess, for the past 6 months, I've been kind of critical of Until Japan. I have this one video from way back where when he got exposed for scamming, I covered it. That was almost like a year ago. That's crazy. I spoke about his leaks. I've like lightly mentioned him being super mysterious might not be the best idea, but I'm not gonna lie, he actually delivered the quality of music required to move like that, so good for him. Anyways, overall, I'd rate this project like a 8, especially for an underground album. Like a lot of these underground rappers just be dropping projects to drop projects, but this is actually a good album. Definitely was not expecting something this good. The thing about Until Japan 2 is he just is like stepped into the public eye. Like he just started posting pictures on Instagram. He just started being a little more active. He's been tweeting and stuff forever, but you know, just putting himself out there. So it's gonna be interesting to see his progression, you know, just live, like, I don't know, either him playing shows, more music videos, more whatever, but just seeing him, if that makes sense. But yeah, anyways, great album. Let me know your thoughts below, and yeah, peace.